The flanking ambush at Okehazama was not Nobunaga's true intention. We now reveal the full scope of this strategy that defies conventional wisdom. The Oda army numbered a mere 3,000, against Imagawa's 25,000. Overcoming such an overwhelming force with a simple flanking ambush was impossible. Yet, in truth, a more astonishing revelation lay hidden. What was the trap Nobunaga truly set for Imagawa Yoshimoto? In this video, you will learn why a simple flanking ambush wasn't enough to win / what kind of intelligence warfare Nobunaga employed / what was the true cause of victory at the Battle of Okehazama. Now, let's delve into that truth. The main feature will also detail Nobunaga's cunning plan that lured Imagawa Yoshimoto into complacency. In Iroku III, 1560, Imagawa Yoshimoto began his invasion of Owari with a grand army of 25,000. His goal was to defeat Oda Nobunaga and march to Kyoto. Nobunaga, in contrast, commanded only 3,000 soldiers. No one doubted the overwhelming victory of the Imagawa army. However, at a council in Kyosu Castle, Nobunaga dismissed his retainer's suggestions of retreat or siege. Taking up a spear himself, he declared his army would march forth. This was the beginning of the so-called ambush. Nobunaga is said to have led a small force towards the Imagawa main camp, advancing to outflank them. This is the popular theory of the flanking ambush. But how could 3,000 men possibly ambush 25,000 head-on? What was Nobunaga truly thinking? Firstly, the Imagawa army was not advancing as a single unit. It was divided into vanguards, a main force, and multiple separate contingents, each advancing independently. Nobunaga's initial target was not the main force, but the Imagawa vanguard. His aim was to fragment and sow confusion throughout the entire Imagawa army. The Oda army, small but elite, used the terrain to their advantage, launching small-scale attacks on various Imagawa units. This was closer to guerrilla warfare than a direct ambush. The Imagawa forces encountered resistance from the Oda army in various locations, delaying their advance more than anticipated. Fatigue and frustration mounted, gradually eroding their vigilance. In fact, Nobunaga's true objective wasn't an ambush itself. It was to divide and exhaust the Imagawa army, enticing them into a state of complacency. Imagawa Yoshimoto, receiving reports from his vanguard, underestimated the Oda army's resistance. He is said to have rested at Okehazama and begun a celebratory feast for his impending victory. At this moment, Nobunaga had accurate intelligence that the Imagawa army was completely complacent. This was proof of his superior intelligence network. Furthermore, it's possible Nobunaga disseminated false information to the Imagawa army, luring Yoshimoto to a specific location. Okehazama was, in fact, the decisive battleground chosen by Nobunaga. Just as Yoshimoto began his feast and lowered his guard, a sudden, fierce downpour struck Okehazama. This, too, was a stroke of fortune for Nobunaga. The heavy rain obscured the Imagawa army's vision, and the sound of rain drowned out all else. Detecting the approaching Oda forces became nearly impossible. Nobunaga seized this downpour, rapidly advancing towards the Imagawa main camp. It was perfect timing, utilizing terrain, intelligence warfare, and even the weather to his advantage. However, the heavy rain may not have been mere coincidence. Nobunaga is also said to have had a keen understanding of meteorology. It cannot be denied that he may have predicted the movement of rain clouds and wind direction in advance, timing this ambush perfectly. When Nobunaga reached the main camp, Imagawa Yoshimoto was in the midst of his feast. Most of his soldiers had disarmed and relaxed their guard. This situation was created by Nobunaga's meticulous planning and the Imagawa army's overconfidence. They were, in essence, in the palm of Nobunaga's hand. The Oda army stormed the Imagawa main camp. Plunged into extreme chaos, the Imagawa forces were cut down one after another, unable to retaliate. And finally, Imagawa Yoshimoto himself was slain. With this, the tide of battle turned in an instant. It was a moment recounted as a miraculous reversal. However, this was not achieved by mere chance or a brief flanking ambush. It was Nobunaga's meticulous, composite strategy. The fragmentation and exhaustion of the Imagawa army, strategic manipulation through intelligence, exploitation of the weather, and guerrilla warfare utilizing the terrain. All these elements combined to secure victory. In later generations, the Battle of Okehazama is often simply recounted as Nobunaga's ambush. However, beneath that narrative lay Nobunaga's extraordinary ingenuity. Nobunaga was not merely a headstrong warlord. He was a formidable strategist who read his opponent's minds and meticulously engineered situations to perfection. The Battle of Okehazama marked a turning point in the Sengoku period. With this victory, Nobunaga significantly paved the way for the unification of Japan. So, why did the simple story of a flanking ambush become so widespread? Perhaps it was to narrate Nobunaga's legend more dramatically. Or, it's even possible that Nobunaga himself deliberately allowed the simple ambush narrative to spread, to conceal his true strategy. In any case, the Battle of Okehazama was not a mere stroke of luck or a random ambush, but a battle where Nobunaga's brilliant strategic vision came to fruition. Why couldn't a simple flanking ambush alone secure victory? Because overcoming such a vast numerical disparity required multiple, interconnected elements. What kind of intelligence warfare did Nobunaga employ? He precisely grasped the Imagawa army's movements and likely spread false information to induce Yoshimoto's complacency. What was the true cause of victory in the Battle of Okehazama? It was Nobunaga's exceptional strategic insight and his preparation to turn every factor to his advantage. The true Battle of Okehazama, hidden behind history's veil. It was not merely an ambush, but a grand drama where Nobunaga's meticulous calculations and preparations brought forth victory.
History still hides untold stories. Subscribe for more forgotten history.